On Friday, October 27th, the day after delivery, this was my first full day of ownership. Since the car arrived last night in the dark, it was hard to determine its condition. In addition, being at the Odessa facility, it was quite a bit dirty, but not as bad as some of the newly delivered Oceans that I've heard about. The first thing I did in the morning was to do a 2-bucket wash of the Ocean. I cleaned the wheels and lower plastic areas first. Then, with a new bucket of soap, I started with the top of the car and worked my way down, also from the front to the back. When done with washing, I used my leaf blower to get rid of any water on the surface, including the wheels. Then I brought the Ocean into the garage for final drying, cleaning the glass, and dressing the tires. Now with the car clean, I can go over the surface and look for any issues. I did find 3 areas of concern. First, on the right side of the hood, near the front, there's a small scratch, not very large, but definitely through the clear coat and some of the paint. Next, on the top of the liftgate, near the Fisker vinyl wrapped R, there are some fine scratches. These look to be minor and could be buffed out. The third, and most serious, is on the driver's side A-pillar. This one is about a ½ inch long and fairly deep. Serious enough that I think a body shop may need to fix it. Next, I went through the items in my delivery checklist. Some problem areas on early cars are the front HVAC vents getting stuck or not working. Mine appear to be working fine. All the items seem to be working until I tried the California mode. When using either the interior button or the key fob button, the California mode is not working correctly. Sometimes it opens the roof panel and not the side windows, and sometimes it does the opposite, so just not consistently. The big issue is that the doggy windows on the C-pillar are not opening at all. The last issue I found is that the liftgate window will not open with the key fob, while it works fine with the car's interior button though. I waited until I thoroughly went over the car. Then, along with the paint issues that I mentioned previously, that afternoon I contacted Fisker's support number and filed a service request for these 3 areas of concern: paint, California mode, and the liftgate window on the key fob. Time to take the protective tape off of the driver's doorway threshold. And for the seat protector. Is this 2 pieces? Hard to tell. Let's see, is this Velcroed in or something? Wow, this is pretty intensely designed here. All right, let's get it from the back. I don't know what is holding this thing in. Oh, okay, I get it. It's got little straps on either side of the rear here. There we go. Now we should be able to pop it off. Ta-da! Now I have a fresh driver's seat, so I can mess it up. There it is in its new glory. On the dash of the car, there were several items when I got in. This appears to be an inspection sticker from the Odessa facility in Sterling, Virginia. They also included a temporary paper tag to stick on the back of your car until the final license plate arrives. And finally, they provided a Ronin sticker which lists all the features of the car. and the options, along with some federally mandated specs on the right side. This is the default screen. You see that by the Fisker button highlighted here. It has the cameras and sensor information on top, a medium-sized map info area in the center. We have seat heaters on here, and we have music on the right. If we go through each of these real quickly, this is a full-size map view. This is your music section. This is your phone section, which I'll have to connect at some point. This is the odometer, which shows 7 miles, so the car has very low miles. You can click on charge, and that shows the charge information. Next, we have HVAC, all the controls for that. Finally, we have the gear on the bottom, which is settings. Then you can dive into each one of these categories and make changes so it's personalized for your use. For example, I can adjust the steering wheel, change the display language, units I'm keeping as miles, temperature I'm going to change to Fahrenheit, and time display I'm going to change to 12 hours. I'll just do a quick thing for adjust a steering wheel. If you use the button on the left side of the steering wheel, you can adjust the steering wheel up and down and in and out. Next, we have driving settings. You can set your regen brakes for low, which is like coasting, medium, or high. High is close to one pedal driving. We also have boost mode, which you can turn on for extra acceleration. Note that there's 500 remaining. There's some rumors that that can be updated at a later point in time. Next, we have the audio settings, connectivity for Bluetooth, any paired devices. You can also create a Wi-Fi hotspot. The display setting, you can change it from a light to dark theme, brightness of the driver's display. Also on the central touchscreen you can adjust too, and that's it for that. Lighting, you can change the exterior lighting settings, daytime running lights, interior lighting settings, also ambient lighting. Safety features, I'll also go through this. Front collision, I'm going to do recommended settings. Lane departure, also going to do recommended settings. Blind spot detection and side collision mitigation, going to keep the standard settings. Driver attention warning, which uses the camera to the left of the driver on the A-pillar. Going to leave that on. Door opening warning, you can leave that to recommended. And finally, we have traffic light assist. I'm going to leave that on the recommended settings for right now. I'll probably drive the car a bit before I learn how to adjust these to my liking. Driver assist, we have the FI Pilot. I'm going to keep that right now also on the recommended settings. Doors and mirrors, you can have the mirrors auto fold after parking. Turn that on. Tailgate, you can adjust the tailgate height. There's videos on how to do that. I may do one later on too. Profile. Right now it just has a guest profile. We'll be adding one later on. Then we have the software page. It shows the current software version. Let's see, is there available updates? And it looks like this describes all the software releases. And I'll talk about software updates more in another video. And lastly, on the bottom, we have vehicle and service. And this is where we get a little infographic on the car. My car is 2185 out of 5,000. We also have the owner's manual and a welcome message from Henrik. You can also set the windshield wipers to service mode to clean them, and you can also reset tire pressure. Let me play the Henrik video.
Thank you for joining us in our shared vision of a clean future for all. And with you now sitting behind the wheel of your Fisker Ocean, you are part of that vision. Sit back and relax and get ready for the drive of your life. I'll see you on the road. Thank you.
All right, and then we press close. And that's it for the basic run through of the menu system. I'll be doing more videos on this as there's software updates that will be arriving to increase functionality. Last night, I charged the car up to 80%, which was 285 miles. And right now it is 14 hours later, and I am reading 283 at 79%, which means it lost about 2 miles over that period of time. One thing it's good to know is how many miles you have on the car when it arrives. You get to it by pressing the charging button and then pressing odometer. This car has 7 miles on it, so that's pretty good. Now we're going to do the first real drive. Last night I moved it from the street to the garage, which I don't really consider a real test. So let's put it in drive and take it out. I'm gonna pause for a second. I need to get some stuff from my other car. All right, let's put it in drive and test it out. Adjust my mirror. On this trip, I'm going to try to keep it within the speed limit and probably around the 25 to 45 mile an hour range. I have it in Earth mode. Might as well test it on the default. I must say the screen is pretty easy to see during the daytime. There's a temporary screen protector on it right now. I'm going to look at getting a matte LCD protector to cut down on glare and fingerprints. So that's something I'm going to be looking into. So far the drive is very solid. My wife's car is a Volvo XC60, and this is very similar in size and has the same like heft to it, if you know what I mean, like many other European cars. And I've been driving my Tesla Model 3 for 5.5 years, so I'm so used to it that driving something new
takes some time to get used to, and I'm sure it won't take that long. By the way, I'm not going to be doing any drag racing today at stoplights, even though this Corvette next to me needs to learn a lesson, but another time. I'm kind of really liking the turn signal sound. It has a kind of a funky beat to it. Thanks for the signal there. So far, the regen is set to high in earth mode, and it's pretty strong. It's technically not one pedal driving yet. That's supposed to be coming in an over-the-air update at some point, where hold mode, which I really like when that was added to my Tesla. So hold mode will most likely work in conjunction with one pedal driving. And one thing I want to say about this car is the regen can be set to low, medium, and high. Low is great for highways because it can be used for coasting. It's practically almost off on the regen, and I really appreciate that. I wish my Tesla had that feature, because there's some times where you don't have to throttle the pedal as much. Is a bit more relaxing. Okay, what are you doing, dude? Okay, that's an odd one. I think he just wants to park in the median. Well, this whole week has been great weather, so I'm glad my delivery was at least clear out. Unfortunately, it was kind of dark outside because it was around 7:45 p.m. Wish it was during the day so I would have a better look at it, but today after the car wash I got a good look at the exterior. There are two paint areas of concern that I'm going to contact customer service about, and one additional thing is the California mode is currently not working on my car. I did a reset, unfortunately it's not working, so they'll probably have to send a reset, a remote reset for that, and hopefully that gets fixed pretty easily. Otherwise, everything else is pretty good. I have no problems. The vents are working. AC on high seems to be working fine. This car seems to have also the latest software update. I haven't dwelled into the depths of the menu to figure out what needs to be changed, but so far it looks like it has the latest software. You can also drive the car momentarily with the rear camera on. It doesn't seem to like you having permanently, it doesn't seem to, let's see. Does it turn off? Okay. I mean, if you want to have your rear camera on, that's a nice feature to have. I've used that sometimes in my Tesla. Pretty clear, I must say. Pretty high definition view. If I go to surround, I can also see the exterior of the car, which is amazing for parking in tight areas. Not so much while you're driving, though. I must say, Earth mode acceleration is kind of slow. I mean, you really have to push down on the accelerator to get moving. I'm most likely going to put it in fun mode on the way home today and test that out. It is mid-afternoon and lots of traffic. If you notice, the trees are starting to turn colors. The leaves are starting to get the yellows, oranges, and reds of fall. And they're just starting to fall in my yard. All right. So far, the car seems pretty quiet while driving on the interior. I'll have to test that out at highway speeds too. But supposedly these are acoustic glass side windows. I do hear a tiny little bit of movement in the passenger taco tray. So I'm gonna take a look at that. You know, I haven't even looked at the taco trays yet, so to be seen. I can feel little nudges while I'm driving due to the lane keeping. Otherwise, the steering wheel feels nice. As many people have said, it's kind of chunky. It's got round top and kind of flattish bottom. It's pretty firm, not squishy. Has nice finger preset areas here. If you want to hold at the typical 9 and 3. If you want to hold lower, you can do that too. Kind of a cutout in this area here for that. Overall, very solid. I like the feel of it. And the buttons are nice. These are basically one single button here that you move in each direction. And then the center scroll wheels are nice texture to them. Kind of knurled finish. Be nice if it was metal, but they appear to be plastic. Yeah, definitely regen is great around the corners when you're turning. I noticed around 30 miles an hour and under is when the exterior pedestrian warning sound is activated. You can hear it a little bit in the car, but not very much. I guess if I had the windows open, it would be fairly noticeable. Has kind of like a spaceship sound to it. One thing I do like in the interior is there is no glossy black anywhere to be seen, which is great. Everything has a matte finish coating. Like the gear shifter is kind of a matte, kind of a nice texture to it. Same with the buttons on the doors, matte finish. Pretty much most of the plastic and everything in here in the center. Soft touch on the sides. Top of the dash is soft touch. We have Alcantara that's in this middle section of the dash console area, and down here is also soft touch. I'm liking the hard buttons for the HVAC and music volume, and also these buttons here you can adjust things to, like the defrosters. So it's kind of nice having everything right here, and you can like hold the fan right here and that will turn it off. In fact, let me increase the fan speed a little bit. Talking about the fans, the ventilation is really nice. It has a digital ventilation movement positioning, very similar to Tesla and Rivian. And I must say it's much more directional than in my Model 3, which depends mostly on two different airflows being adjusted. In this, there's 4 individual vents, and they have louvers horizontal for height, and they have vertical louvers for left and right. And those louvers seem to work very well. I noticed the air is much more directional. And another thing I hope to do is test it with saving profiles. I know profiles is coming soon. Much more is going to be added to that. I hope they add fan memory, fan vent positioning memory to the profile, as well as the normal seat position, mirror, and steering wheel positions, which is handy for multiple drivers. Currently, only one profile is on the car that can be used right now. And hopefully there's going to be a big update coming soon in the next month that's going to be providing a bunch of new features. So can't wait to check that out. One thing I want to comment on is the second row seats. There are 3 headrests, and they can be adjusted higher, but the lowest position is still fairly high, and it kind of blocks, I would say, a serious amount of viewing out the back window. I think it's possible to remove them if you don't have rear passengers very often, so I may test that out and see what that does, but that would seem to give me about 50% more viewing out the rear window. So something to think about. In addition, there's also the digital rear view mirror, which will be awesome when you have the back of the car. Yes, that is a loud exhaust. like I was saying, the digital mirror will be great when you have the back of the car cargo area full of suitcases and whatnot that you can go all the way to the roof, and by using the digital mirror you can see behind you very clearly. I must say I like it. I did a quick setup on it, and I have the zoom on it zoomed out as far as possible, and I wish there was more adjustment on the zoom. Maybe that could be adjusted in the software, I don't know, or it may be depending on how the camera is made. So that's to be determined. Seems like everybody's going slow today. So this has been a nice relaxing drive. I just want to mention I just went over a pothole, and the car seems to absorb the potholes pretty well, considering these are 22-inch wheels and all-season tires. I was kind of concerned about the tires because they are large, and kind of, you know, wondering how it's going to affect performance, ride, noise, etc. But so far they seem to be pretty good. And I am pulling into my office. I park in the underground parking area, and you'll get to see how that works. Otherwise, that will probably be the conclusion to this video. Just a nice leisurely drive, the very first drive of my Fisker Ocean 1. Time to take the sunglasses off. Let's see, is there any good parking? I will try. Right here. Right next to a Porsche. All right. Get to see the backup lines on the camera. Seems to have a thick line and a thin line to give you an idea. I'm trying to get this exactly centered. It's only the second time I've been reverse parking this car, and it seems to be pretty good. I can also do the 360 view. You can see your lines. It's a little off on that side. I may adjust that. Let's try it. Let's see, does it let you do the 3D view while you're backing up? Oh, interesting. So backup is purely using the lines on the rear view. So, okay, interesting. Back up a little more. There we go. Put it in park. So at the conclusion of the drive, we have 272 miles remaining at 76%. So it basically used 3% to get to work. And let's go to the charging and look at the odometer, and we're at 15 miles. So I drove 8 miles. There will be efficiency screens coming soon, which I can't wait because I love to track that stuff on trips, and that's about it for now.
I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. I have lots of videos planned and can't wait to show them to you. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.